As Sebastian said, my name is Brian. I'm the infrastructure architect at Paradox, a company you probably haven't heard of. At Paradox, we help companies with recruiting. We build career sites for people, and then we help them through our AI agent to help them go through the whole process of looking for a job, getting scheduled for interviews, all the way up until the day that they start. If you've ever ordered food from Chipotle, you've probably had someone that got hired by us, 7-Eleven, General Motors, Marriott Hotels. If anyone's staying in Marriott, they're one of our customers. So a lot of big customers that you would have heard of work with us. So appreciate Paradox letting me come here and do this here today. Our company was here last year, and we had stuck on Terraform 1.5.7 after the license change and said, let's see how things go. And after KubeCon last year, our team decided OpenTofu was the way for us to go. So we wanted to make the change. So where we were at, we're in a mono repo. Our company, when I started there about 4.5 years ago, we had nothing in Terraform at all. And so we've gone from having nothing to pretty much everything in Terraform now. I won't ever say 100% because you never know. But we're trying, at the time we had over about 400 state files. Now we're up to about 650. So we're almost to fidelity scale, almost. We're getting close. But one of the things, we chose the mono repo for some purposes for us, thinking about like what Cisco was talking about earlier. We didn't want to have to deal with some versioning problems, so by keeping everything in our mono repo, we make sure when someone upgrades a module, everything gets upgraded at the same time, and we make sure that we're all using the same version of Terraform or OpenTofu at the same time. So it had worked for us, and that's what we chose to stick with, but it also made it to where when we wanted to switch over, it would be very awkward, especially for some of our drift detection stuff that we were running, to be half switched over and half not. Which directories are switched over, which ones aren't, because you can't just say this repo is this one not, because it's all just one repo. So we wanted to kind of do it all at once. So I say this is all done in one day, but the truth is everyone knows it's not just I showed up one day at work and said it's all done. There's obviously a little bit of work, so I prepared. First thing, OpenTofu.org had a great guide, especially because we stayed back. Made life really easy because we stayed at the migration point. So they gave great documentation. I did some test runs this on my local laptop ahead of time. I upgraded some directories, ran some plans locally, and said, did anything look like it blew up? And nothing had, so that was great. We also created, we had some scripts that we were running for drift detection, and I updated those scripts so that way I could automate all of this upgrade process, because who wants to sit there and run something 400 times? That would be a lot of typing. So updated all these scripts so that way I could get it running on my local machine, because we wanted to make sure that we weren't stuck in any sort of halfway state. So also, at the time, we were running everything from our local machines. We had no taco in place, so it's all just coming from people's local machines. So we also, in preface to this, we planned when we were going to do it, and we said, everyone, get your drift out of there. We don't need any drift, because don't want to do that. So we got to our migration day, and this is kind of a workflow of where we got to. We did this on a Friday. Our team is globally distributed. So we did it to where a lot of our team was overseas, and so they were already on their weekend, so they didn't have to worry about it. They even had a holiday the next week, so that way I had plenty of time if I screwed it all up to fix everything. But first thing, I notified everyone, like, hey, process is starting. We're migrating. I ran our drift detection script, which at the time took about 2 hours to run. Came back, everything, no drifts. Everyone had it clean. Life was good. First, did an upgrade to 1.6.2, which is part of the documentation. I went through, ran my script, on multiples. I was running a whole bunch in parallel of tofu, init, and apply across all 400 state files. Ran all of those, all worked. Got through, ran our drift detection again, all came back totally clean. Then upgraded to 1.9.0, which was the current release at the time. Then went ahead, tofu, init, and apply again. And final drift detection, came back clean, and notified the team that everything was done. The whole process, honestly, probably took about 7 to 8 hours from start to finish. But we had really no issues whatsoever. It upgraded, everything was smooth, and my life was easy, and I got to go into the weekend not having to worry about anything. And we enjoyed it. You know, afterwards, we had a few small changes. We had drift detection that we ran. We had to make some few small changes to our automation script because we needed to start installing Tofu instead of Terraform. That was expected, but it's just something we had to do. And then right after this, we then implemented TerraTeam, which is the taco that we've chosen, because we were wanting to move to this as our team continues to grow. And we got TerraTeam implemented literally in the next week right after this. So now we do everything with pull requests and reviews. And we've been, you know, now we're on the latest version, and we've been having a great time with Tofu, and it's enjoying the new features of exclude and other things that Terraform didn't have. And that's it. And got a QR code here for any feedback if anyone has any, and open for questions. Got a question there?
Have you spoken with any teams that migrated from Terraform Cloud, and do you know if there are any other particular issues associated with that style of migration?
I haven't spoken to anybody that's migrated from Terraform Cloud. You know, we kept everything. We're using S3 as our back end. But I would assume if you're doing Terraform Cloud, I mean, I would, in that case, for me personally, I would. I'm sure some of the maintainers could help, but I would just move to a different back end first, do that as a separate migration, and then move over afterwards.
Thank you. Can you share a little bit of sense of scale in terms of like the internal community that you're serving, number of number of commits to?
Sure. Yeah. So we're, you know, our team. We're how many people are we now? So there's 7 of us on our team that are committing. We, you know. Small team, we don't have developers committing to our Terraform, so we maintain it all just with our platform team. So it's just the 7 of us working on it, you know. And then we do a lot of commits. We maintain a lot of environments. I think right now we have about 27 separate environments that we maintain. So one of the reasons why it's, you know, our Terraform gets so really complicated is because we have a lot of customers that have copies of our environment. So when we make module changes, we have to make that change, and we have to make it for all of our disaster environments as well as for customer A, B, C, etc. So so when you're making changes, it happens in a lot of places. So that's what really adds the complication for us.
One more question. Since you manage the platform team, what are some of the metrics that you report on to management to show success of the overall project?
Well, uptime. Uptime's always important. You know, for us, that's really about. We've been focusing on uptime because everyone always cares about that. And then our other big metric that we've been focused on this year has been cost. We just went through a big, over the last 2 years, we've done a Kubernetes migration from EC2. And that was a huge cost because when you're running Kubernetes and EC2 at the same time as you're migrating, it was huge. So that's mostly been what we've been focused on is that, and response time. Those are our 3 main features that we're focused on.
Thank you.
Cool.